Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to get started here in a second. As you can see, booster 12 is already nice and frosty, so we should be not that far off from a static fire attempt. Welcome in Starship 30. Welcome in Denny's. Yeah, so just give me a few minutes here. I'm going to adjust my volume a little bit here, too. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. Let me know how I sound. All right, I just reset my mic because I dropped it. I want to make sure it's good. I'm still working on getting everything set up here, but SpaceX is fast. Today, they're getting the propellants loaded onto booster 12. This is the Flight 5 booster, expected to be the first stage for Flight 5, which we expect in probably less than a month or so. So good morning, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. I'm still working on getting stuff set up here, but keep your eyes peeled. Because it looks like SpaceX is rapidly approaching the potential static fire for today. Apologies for the live scene editing. Just want to make sure that we don't miss out on anything here while I'm setting things up. All right. All right. Testing 1, 2, 3. I think we are looking good now. Welcoming everybody. We are, as usual, at the southern tip of South Padre Island with live views of SpaceX's Starbase facility. And we are hoping to see a static fire of Booster 12 today. And it looks like SpaceX has already made a lot of progress towards that test for today. As you can see, the frost lines are growing on the vehicle, which indicates that they are loading propellant in the vehicle, both liquid oxygen and methane. So they need to basically fuel that up as much as they think that they need to for today's static fire. Then they basically go through a little bit of their own processes, and then we usually hear about a 10-minute warning sign. But I haven't been checking in with chat and on Twitter and on X and on the community, so we could be a lot closer than I think. I'm going to take a minute here in just a few seconds to check up on everything and see how we're doing timeline-wise. But this is going to be a huge milestone forward towards Flight 5, which we hope to see here in the next month or so. So thanks for joining in, everybody. Starship 30, my dad is tuning in. Welcome. Denny's is turning in. It's been a while since we've done a live stream, so it's probably going to be a quieter stream as far as chat goes until we have some more streams and build up the momentum again here. But that's cool. I'm happy with that. I'm just happy to see people tuning in, and I'm happy that we're going to get this milestone completed for Booster 12 today, hopefully. So let me take a moment to just check in with the community and X and stuff to see if there's any updates beyond what I can see. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like they're very far into the process here, so we could potentially even be getting close to that static fire. So keep your eyes peeled. Just making some camera adjustments here. There we go. Welcome in, Stephanie B. Good to see you, Stephanie B. Welcome, and thank you for being a mod on the channel here. So for anybody just tuning in, we are eagerly awaiting for the static fire of Booster 12, which is the Flight 5 booster, the first stage for the next Starship fully integrated flight test. As we know, the last one was a tremendous success, and we hope to see some additional improvements over Flight 4 with this next flight that we may see in the next month or so. Stephanie B is reporting that engine chill has happened, so that means we are getting awfully close here to this static fire. Like I said, sometimes we'll have about a 10 minutes heads up before the actual ignition, but not always. So just in case we miss that 10-minute heads up, don't take your eyes off the screen in case we miss that notification. Stephanie B says prop load looks complete. I would tend to agree. For a static fire, this looks pretty good. Starship 30 also says getting ready for static fire. I like this testing pace that they're going through here today. A lot of times, historically, with static fire tests and stuff, they start these processes at 8 or 9, and sometimes they don't actually get to the test until 12, 1, or sometimes even 2. Though it does seem like fairly recently they have been expediting the actual test earlier in the day. So I'm happy with that because then we can get the test done and move on with the day. So I'm happy so far. As we know, Booster 12 has quite a few upgrades from the previous booster from Flight 4. As always, all of these tests are really, really important to make sure that this thing is going to be ready to fly and flight worthy when Flight 5 does come. So these tests are anything but routine. We are kind of used to these by now, but we have to remember this is still a prototype vehicle. This is still in its early stages. Granted, it's a lot more polished than it was back in the day, but we eagerly await these tests because even though success is probable and likely, it's not guaranteed. So we are keeping a close eye on all of these tests as much as possible. Dave Roberts is in chat. Welcome. Dave Roberts says, hello, Starship fans. Can't wait for Flight 5. I'm right with you there, David. I'm really excited. Dave Roberts. A lot of other changes happening to Starbase. As you probably have heard, SpaceX has started to build the second launch tower down here. It's pretty impressive, the pace that they're going here. And all the tower segments are now at Starbase. So once they start, they've already stacked the first section, and it's gonna start to go up quick. I would not be surprised to see this tower fully built sooner than later. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I just got a text message from a buddy saying he thinks my audio cut out. So that could just be on the X stream. I'm looking at the YouTube stream right now, and it looks like the audio is okay. Stephanie B also says Block 2 ship has started stacking. I did see that as well. So Starship version 2 is no longer just on paper. Starship version 2 is being built as we speak. Very, very exciting. Starship 2 is very slightly taller and a lot of other changes. The forward flaps are changed positions, a lot of other changes. V3 is going to be the real tall one, but V2 is just a little bit taller, I believe. Stephanie B says 5x5, and Starship 30 says yes, confirming that they can hear me. So I'm wondering if it's just on my restream. I'm going to voice text him. Seems good on YouTube, comma, is it out on X, question mark. Ship 33 version 2 has a shorter payload section, says Stephanie B. Dave Roberts says, I think it was a blip. Audio A-OK. Okay, awesome. I'm keeping an eye on X and also some other channels to make sure that if there's a siren, hopefully we'll hear about it. Whenever we do hear about that siren, it's usually about a T-minus 10 minutes heads up. So if anybody else hears that a siren has been heard, give me a heads up in chat. But based on the fact of the matter, with prop load being complete and engine chill happened, I would say let's just keep a sharp eye on this thing because it could happen any minute. Starship 30 says almost fully frosty. I think I can't tell if there's a couple indications that prop load is complete usually. So we usually see the OLM vent start, and I don't know. I can't tell if we're seeing the OLM vent go or not right now. But it does look like the LOX tank is mostly full, and we got a bit of methane as well. I do expect to see that OLM vent going, though, if it's fully fueled. It looks dang close. All right, I'll be back with you in just a second. That was really funny. Somebody just tried to get up on a table and realized that they were in my camera shot, and then and then stepped down. Getting a lot more foggy down there under the OLM, I believe. Oh, and Stephanie B is confirming prop load is complete as well. I was just about to say I believe that we're seeing the OLM vent going, and that should indicate that LOX tank is full. So we really should be getting close to this static fire any second here. I'm going to give y'all another quick summary. I'm just checking to make sure this thing's not about to go off while I'm giving you the update. Actually, I'm going to hold off until after, because I think this thing's going to be any minute. A bit breezy here, but we should have a good... Oh, I think I might see Fire X. I'm far, though, so I don't know for sure. Wait, there it is. Sound is coming. All right. One second, I'm just waiting for the noise to completely stop here. And there you have it, static fire of Booster 12. I must say that's, it could just be the atmospheric conditions or something, but that sounded a little bit different than a normal static fire. It sounded a little bit more gravelly, a little bit more rumbly. Could have been normal and completely fine, but it definitely sounded a little bit more aggressive than usual. Whoops, excuse my scene switching here. So yeah, that was the Booster 12 static fire. So again, this is the Flight 5 booster that we're expecting to take the next Starship up into its flight test. And static fire is complete. We'll have to hear how many engines that was. I kind of expected to be a full set of engines. Hopefully it's nominal, and then the booster will basically be ready to go for flight, other than a wet dress rehearsal when they are getting closer. I'm kind of standing sideways to the camera here because I'm realizing that my mic receiver is on my right, which is maybe why it cut out a little bit earlier. But so that was the static fire of Booster 12. Really excited to see that done here today. We're going to hang out for a while, check in, see if there's any updates on X about whether that was a fully successful static fire or not. Probably normal, probably successful. Just sounded a little bit different from me, but that could be really for any reason. So thanks for joining us here so far. Again, my name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. We're going to start ramping our coverage back up Starship as we get closer to Flight 5. So expect to see some more streams coming up in the next few days, a couple weeks, leading up to Flight 5. So thanks for all for tuning in. Let's continue to watch here for any updates. Will agrees. Will says that was a much louder boom at the start than normal. I was actually thinking the same thing. It seemed a lot more concussive right at the start of the static fire than usual. And then, like I said, it sounded like more gravelly. That sound was just a little bit more aggressive than usual. So hopefully it turned out to be a successful static fire attempt. But I think Will agrees it was a little bit different than usual. Stephanie B is reporting that they are depressing now. Good. And Stephanie B also agrees. I'm doing a little multitasking here. I'm also working. So now that the static fire is complete, I'm going to take just about 2 or 3 minutes here to check in with work, make sure I'm not missing anything important here. I just let the folks know that I work with that I'm stepping away for a few minutes to get the cameras up today. So yeah, I'm going to take a step away here for just a second, and I'll check back with you in a minute. Stephanie B says maybe they fired 13 and then 20. That's possible. It could just be a different firing order, something that causes a little bit more turbulence than normal. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. This also could just be a change in the ignition sequence. Yeah, not just the sequence, as Stephanie B said, but it could be just a change in how these are actually igniting. Who knows? They might have made changes after the last couple flights. They might have learned some news about how these Raptor engines are working, and they could have made some changes. So maybe this is just a change in the actual ignition sequence of these engines. But I'm sure SpaceX has been keeping us updated with a lot of these tests lately. So hopefully we will get a tweet in not too long from now confirming if this was a successful static fire of booster 12 here. All right, like I said, I'm going to step away for 2-3 minutes here. Will says thank you for streaming and keeping us updated. It is my pleasure, Will. I will be back in just a couple minutes. All right. All right. Like we said, all right, welcome in everybody. If anybody missed it, my name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. We just witnessed the static fire of Booster 12, the Flight 5 booster of Starship down here with live views of SpaceX's Starbase facility. Looked good, sounded different. Is it different bad? Is it different good? We just don't know yet. But hopefully it was a nominal static fire, and we'll just have to see. But I thank everybody for showing up here and to the stream today. Like I said, we're going to start ramping up coverage ahead of Flight 5. And I'm a little bit disorganized on the stream stuff here today, just because it was they got things ready dang fast this morning, so I was kind of in a rush to get everything set up. That's why I keep looking to my right. My radio receiver's to my right, and I don't want the mic to cut out. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here probably. Any minute now, we're gonna start wrapping some things up. I'm gonna start wrapping up the non-essential stuff. I have a full work day ahead of me, so I'm gonna get back to it, and that way we have a productive day at work and at Rocket Future, which is always a great thing. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat. I'll just have about a minute or so to answer those before we start wrapping things up. If you missed the static fire, we did see it just a few minutes ago. You can rewind and you can find the static fire. It should be pretty easy to find in the timeline if you scrub backwards. You'll see all the smoke and everything coming out. So very curious to hear if that was a fully successful static fire. I think everybody is in agreement that it sounded a little bit different than usual. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, I'm going to bring you back to the full screen of the rocket while I start to break down our secondary camera here. And I'm going to keep an eye on chat for any questions or anything. But like I said, we're going to slowly start ramping things down here. Glad to get the streams back going, and should be good. Well, I know, it's somebody I know. All good, Jess. All good, Jess. All right, what time we got? We got 10:32. How far into the stream are we? 45 minutes in. We're going to wrap up at 10:35. I'm going to give 3 more minutes just to make sure that detanking is underway, and then we will wrap things up. Oh, while we're here, actually, let me pan a little bit further to the right so you guys can see the new tower. As you can see, we have Tower 1, or Section 1 stacked, and this Section 2 is already hooked up to crane. So we could see that getting stacked, dang, really as soon as today, I assume. But not until they detank and safe this area. Now my tripod. I need to put my mic down. My tripod's being a pain. If anybody knows of a good tripod that has a fluid head, it's got some nice, it's got a nice adjustment arm with, with some good leverage on it that you can do some smooth tracking on. It's going to have a longer arm, but also can extend above 6 feet high. Please let me know. I'm having a real hard time finding something with a fluid head and a nice panning handle that's above 6 feet high. So let me know if anybody knows of any good tripods. I'm going to start wrapping things up on the X, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. I'm gonna end the restream. I'll still be live on YouTube for another couple minutes here, but if anybody is tuned in on X, Facebook, Twitch, any of those alternatives, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna wrap things up for you, and YouTube will be shortly behind. Rocket Future, cool. Thank you. All right. There we are. 10:35. We are going to wrap things up. So thanks everybody for joining in. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. Huge shout out to all of our channel members and all that stuff. If you are signed up for the Patreon postcards, I did post an update. Please check for that update. Long story short, I'm getting caught up on the last few months of postcards, and we're changing up how that postcard tier works a little bit. So long story short, postcards might not be coming monthly. We're going to change the tier up a little bit. So at some point, I might evict everybody out of that Patreon tier and create a new one. So keep an eye out for that. But for now, I'm getting everybody caught up. Even if you've unsubscribed because you weren't getting postcards, I'm catching you up for what you did pay for. So appreciate all of the support there on Patreon. And yeah, the reality is it's just hard to keep up with, especially when I lose some of the momentum going on with all the stuff. It's easy when I'm keeping up with everything, but yeah, when I'm falling behind, it's hard to keep up with the postcards. So we might change that up just so expectations are set correctly, and it works for me and it works for you. Channel members, appreciate y'all as well, and in these slower channel times as well, even though we're not having streams weekly at this point, we are hoping to ramp up coverage ahead of Flight 5 and start ramping back up and finding a workable balance that's more than we're doing now, but maybe a little less than we were doing last year. So that's the goal. But that's it for me for now. Thanks, everybody. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future with live views of SpaceX Starbase from here at South Padre Island, witnessing the Booster 12 static fire. Looked beautiful, sounded interesting. we'll have to hear if it went well. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future, and peace out.